Medieval Europe paid more for it than gold. Literally. A single narwhal tusk could be worth the equivalent of an entire kingdom. Apothecaries ground it into powder and sold it as a cure for any disease. Kings kept it in their treasuries alongside jewels. Pope Clement VII received 2 of them as a diplomatic gift and considered it among the most valuable things he had ever been given. They thought it was the horn of a unicorn. They did not know an animal produced it. The Vikings knew. They hunted narwhals in the Arctic and sold the tusks across Europe as unicornu verum, true unicorn horn. And they said nothing about the source. Because a monopoly on unicorn horn is an extremely profitable business model. The legend lasted until 1638. Ole Worm, a Danish naturalist, formally announced that the unicorn horn was actually a tooth from a marine animal. End of the legend. Beginning of the scientific questions. Questions that have not been fully answered since. Let us start with what this animal actually is. The narwhal lives in the Arctic waters of Canada, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. It dives to 1,500 meters. It holds its breath for up to 25 minutes. It navigates under sea ice for months, using tiny air pockets as breathing stops. A pod will travel thousands of kilometers between summer feeding grounds and winter ice-covered waters, and they have been doing this for longer than any human civilization has existed. The male grows to 4 or 5 meters, the female to 3 or 4. They can live 50 years, and the male has a tusk, 1 tusk, the left upper canine tooth, growing through the upper lip and extending forward up to 2.5 meters, always with a counterclockwise spiral, every single male, no exceptions recorded. Why counterclockwise specifically, nobody knows. In 2014, a team at Harvard, led by Martin Weah, did something that changed everything science thought it understood about this structure. They put narwhal tusks under an electron microscope. What they found was 10 million nerve endings, connected to 300,000 microscopic pores that open directly to the ocean outside. Each pore leads to a tubule that runs from the ivory surface to the nerve tissue at the center. The entire length of the tusk is a sensory surface connected through the 5th cranial nerve directly to the animal's brain. When they placed the tusk in water of varying salinity, the narwhal's heart rate changed measurably in response. It feels the ocean through its tooth. I want to sit with that for a moment. 2.5 meters of ivory, 300,000 pores, 10 million nerve endings. The animal is not just swimming through water. It is reading the water through a structure that takes up more than half its own body length. Salinity. Possibly temperature, possibly pressure gradients. The tusk may help the narwhal find breaks in sea ice before surfacing. It may detect the thermal layers where prey concentrates. It may sense changes in current that indicate where the ice will be thinner tomorrow. We do not know exactly what it reads. We know it reads something. The heart rate data proved that. And now the question that nobody has answered satisfactorily. Female narwhals do not have this tusk, or they have a very small one that does not protrude. And female narwhals live just as long as males. They hunt just as successfully. They migrate the same routes. They raise calves. They survive everything the Arctic throws at them. If 10 million nerve endings give such an advantage, why don't the females have them? There are 3 competing theories. The first is sexual selection. Females prefer males with longer tusks as an indicator of genetic fitness, and this preference drove the tusk's evolution, regardless of its sensory function. The second is male competition. Males use the tusk in direct contests, and the scar evidence on male bodies supports this. The third is the honest signal theory. The tusk's condition accurately reflects the individual's parasite load and immune function, making it a reliable advertisement of health. None of these three theories fully explains all the observed data, and none of them explains why the females do so well without it. I find this more interesting than a clean answer would be. The question is still open. The animal is still alive. The tusk is still there. Now the DNA, because this is where the story takes a completely unexpected turn. In 2019, Danish scientists published a full narwhal genome. What they found was a paradox. The narwhal has the lowest genetic diversity of any Arctic marine mammal, lower than the beluga, its closest relative, lower than the bowhead whale, lower than ringed seals. Remarkably, extremely low. Low genetic diversity usually means a species is in danger. It means the population went through a bottleneck, a catastrophic reduction to very few individuals, and never recovered its variation. It means the species is fragile. It means any significant environmental change could overwhelm the limited adaptive capacity in the gene pool. The narwhal population is approximately 170,000 individuals. They are not in collapse, and the low diversity has been stable for 1 million years. This is not the aftermath of a recent crisis. This is simply what narwhals are. 1 million years of the same low genetic diversity, through multiple ice ages, through climate shifts that eliminated other Arctic species, through 5 centuries of human hunting. The researchers who found this are explicit about what it means for the future. The narwhal's lack of genetic variation makes it particularly vulnerable to rapid environmental change, because adaptation requires variation. If the ocean changes faster than the gene pool can respond, and the Arctic is currently warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet, the narwhal has limited biological tools available. To understand how limited, the scientists gathered DNA from sources across centuries. Samples from contemporary animals tagged across their range in Canada and Greenland. Samples from archaeological sites in Norway and Russia. And samples from something unusual. The throne of the King of Denmark is constructed from narwhal tusks. It has been in Rosenborg Castle for centuries, guarded by 3 silver lions with manes of real gold. The scientists received permission to take genetic samples from the tusks in the throne, DNA from narwhal populations that hunted Arctic waters hundreds of years ago, preserved in a piece of royal furniture. The comparison showed that the populations which supplied those tusks, populations that no longer exist today, replaced by historical hunting, had the same low genetic diversity as modern narwhals. The low diversity is not a recent development. It predates the period when European hunting pressure began. In February 2025, researchers published the most comprehensive behavioral study ever conducted on narwhals, using drones that could observe without disturbing. They documented 17 behaviors that had never been recorded before. Social interactions between individuals showing coordination and communication more complex than previously understood. The animals are more sophisticated than decades of limited observation had suggested. We are finally learning the depth of what they are at exactly the moment when their environment is changing faster than any previous generation of narwhals has experienced. The Arctic ice that narwhals navigate is not what it was when the throne was built. The summer ice extent has declined dramatically. The timing of ice formation and breakup has shifted. The narwhal's migration depends on predictable ice. Its breathing holes depend on ice thin enough to break through, but present enough to navigate under. When ice behaves differently than the behavioral patterns accumulated over thousands of generations, narwhals die. There are documented cases of entire pods trapped under unexpectedly solid ice with no exit. A species with 170,000 individuals and 1 million years of stable, low genetic diversity, encountering an Arctic that is changing at a rate faster than anything in its evolutionary history. The unicorn turned out to be real, just not what anyone imagined. It has 10 million nerve endings in its tooth. It reads the ocean through ivory. It has navigated under ice for longer than any kingdom that ever paid gold for its horn. And it is doing so right now in an Arctic that looks less like the one its ancestors knew with every passing decade. The legend was simpler. The animal is stranger and more remarkable, and considerably more vulnerable to losing the world it was built for.